Whatever time it is. Wait. Welcome to our regular meeting at Guadalupe City Council, Tuesday, July 8th. Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Costa Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Fernez. Here. Councilmember Villegas. Here. Councilmember Hernandez. Here. Mayor Julian.
Here, then we have a quorum. Will you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? And if you don't mind, remain standing for condolences and appreciation. Thank you. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've had a local resident passed, Janice DeGasperis. She was a longtime resident here in the community. Her brother died about a year ago, but they're a long time family here. One of the streets are named after the Gasperis. And also moment of thanks and appreciation and condolences. Do you want to start with any condolences? Or? Obviously, the tragedy there in San Antonio is so much to bear for us being at a distance, but for those that lost their young ones and their families and family members. So please join us in several seconds of silence for condolences to all those who lost their lives and property. Thank you. Next item is our agenda review. Is there a council person that wishes to change the order of business as presented? Good. Good. All right. The next item is ceremonial calendar, oath of office. Heath Miller, police officer, Chief Cash. For those who wish, if there's anybody here that wants to take pictures, please, you can come up and take photos.
Please raise your right hand. I, Keith Robert Miller, do solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California
Constitution of the State of California,
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith,
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
allegiance to the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely,
without mental reservation or purpose of
without
evasion,
without mental reservation, purpose, of evasion.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
I will well and discharge the duties about to enter.
Yes. Good. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. If you want to, you can say a few words. If not, you can go your way. But welcome aboard.
Hello, my wife Eden over there. Thank you for letting me come back. I was here for 7 years, left for 2, went to Ridgecrest. Called Chief up, said, "Hey, if I don't come back, what do I have to do?" And he goes, "Well, you take a vote." He goes, only one that needs to vote is me, so yes, you can come back. So, yeah, I'm back. Look forward to it. On FTO right now, but I'll be off before I know it. And just looking forward to serving the community and being back where I belong.
Okay. Well, welcome back and good to have you again.
Thank you.
Come here, Miller. Just want to state real quick, he was here when I got here and he left so we understand what was best for his family. He was an outstanding officer when he was here, and it was such a pleasure to see him and his family come back to Guadalupe. He was a great asset, and so was his family. They're a strong family unit. And so it's one of those things, when you get one, you get them all. And he has some tough little girls. So I got to give him credit for that. So it's a nice pleasure. Welcome. Our whole department is really happy. And the city is really gaining another officer who does the things that we really want them to do. So
Good.
thank you for coming
Okay.
back.
All right. Okay, the next item is community participation. Is there anyone out there that wishes to speak on an item that's not on the agenda? They have, we'll have 3 minutes to speak. You can fill out a form, or if not, you can come up and speak. I see no hands. We'll go to item 7, it's the consent calendar. There's the items are presented as one vote. Is there anyone wishes to pull an item? I'll start with my left side. I would like to pull item E, which is the Veterans Memorial Plaza sign. Is there a motion to approve the balance of the consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve the remaining consent calendar.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. All ayes. I pulled that item out for the Veterans Memorial Plaza. You want to speak about that? If not,
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
you're
My name
welcome.
is Jerry Kaufman of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 982. I think it's a great improvement and a good addition to the Veterans Memorial Park. And I want to thank the mayor for the beautiful frame you made for the sign. Thank you.
I
Great
was
job.
challenged. I was challenged.
Yeah, oh, it was a good job.
Thank
The concrete is poured, the anchors are ready, so we just need a couple of days and we'll get this thing
All
done.
right.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
Oops, it's not approved.
Yeah. Is there a motion to approve item E?
I'll make a motion to approve item E.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. All right. Thank you, Jerry. All right, we'll go to management report, city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor, council, staff and audience. Just to let you know, on Monday, July 14th at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 in the chambers, the Santa Barbara County Parks County Riding and Hiking Trails Advisory Committee will be meeting here. And one of the action items is to discuss and concepts for the Santa Maria to Guadalupe Leve Trail and Guadalupe Beach Trail. So also I want you to know that with our new building with David Rose leaving, every Tuesday and Thursday, the building inspectors will be in the office and on sites. So we're trying to bundle up the time so we can economize and save money that way. Other than that, we have our Newful here, and I just thought, he hasn't really spoke to the council much about different happenings. So I'm going to pass it on to him to, I don't know, share some cool things he's doing.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, wonderful.
So this month, we have our kite festival, First Ever Guadalupe Kite Festival, happening this Saturday from 1 to 5 at O'Connell Park. We have lots of different vendors ranging from food, sweets, crafts. We'll have a craft table for a build your own kite, or rather color in your own kite we have about 55 of those. We have three full-size kites that will raffle off. We'll have music, some lawn games, and looking forward to that for our community. We also have poetry jam next Friday, I believe, the 18th, from 6:30 to 8:30 over at our Veterans Hall. That's actually been established since 2021, and we've have a steady kind of dedicated following to it, and looking to increase that and be interested. You don't have to necessarily read any poems. You're more than welcome to. You could just hang out. We have coffee, some sweets there. Or if you'd like to read a poem, a favorite poem from your favorite poet, yeah. More than welcome to. We'd love to have you. We are also gonna have a movie night on July 26th, which is the same day as the 5K, but the 5K is in the morning. Our movie night will be in the evening from 7. Doors are at 7. Movie starts at 7:30. This is actually going to be a classics movie night, so ratings will vary, and might not be suitable for children. This month we'll be showing The Wild One, which is Marlon Brando, I believe, is 1952. Don't quote me, but it's a great classic film. One of my favorites. And so yeah, moving forward, we're going to be looking to do alternate between family movie nights and classics movie nights, kind of showing just kind of lost cinema that you wouldn't typically get to experience anywhere else. Upcoming one that I'm excited to show is called The Ring. That one is from 1952, not the scary movie, but it is a story about a young Mexican-American boxer who's actually kind of runs into a little bit of trouble with the law. And it's a very interesting story that still is still pertinent for today. Let's see. Oh, as well, I have next month on the 6th, we are actually doing a senior citizens a photo shoot. That idea is to create a wall calendar for next year. And I've left it up to them to see if they'd like to either fundraise or just give it out to the community. I think it's a great thing to get their familiar faces out in our community. It'll be on August 6th from 3 to 6. 3 to 4 we'll have, I just got with the beauty college out in Santa Maria and recruited some beauticians to come and do some hair. So it'd be just looking to have really classy. It'll be a fun theme. I have some friends that have some motorcycles, and they're gonna be on motorcycles.
About you, Gene, you can be on a motorcycle? You haven't asked you yet.
Gene,
Yeah, he's got a motorcycle. Get it.
would you like to? Gene,
Yeah.
break
Jeep?
it out. We're gonna dust off the old Schwinn. So
A Honda 90?
so but yeah, and that's for all seniors in the area. We have talked to them, they're excited about it. There's a flyer posted there. If anybody watching senior citizen in Guadalupe, please be there. Just show up August 6th, Wednesday evening at 3 o'clock. And what we'll provide transportation through our connection with the new smart bus and for Santa Maria. So we will actually be busing to Napomo Swap Meet. In the back there is actually a really cool kind of little area that has a bunch of vintage gas signs, gasoline stations. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's something an idea I've had for many months prior to this job, and so it's fun to have that come to fruition. And that's a little something, just upcoming things.
On your 5K, do you have, what time is that? Is that 5K? Do you have the look, is that Mayor Buren? Is that, okay?
Yeah.
Can you-
I believe it's at 9. Yeah. 9 in the morning. If you're looking to register day of, show up a little earlier. There's two options. There is a $5 registration, which will get you a run in the race, as well as a breakfast provided by our Kiwanis Club. And there's also a $30 option. The $30 option will get you the race, entry into the race, as well as the breakfast, but also a t-shirt that will be later be distributed. And as well as a donation towards the school, which is what the 5K run is all about, raising money for our Guadalupe school districts.
Is that a walk run or is it all run or is it
Sprint.
sprint?
Who said it?
Sprinting.
Yeah, we called the dogs. We have the pounds, so we're just going to be chomping at ankles the whole time.
Okay.
Come, walk, run, stroller, no dogs allowed. But yeah, please, should be
But-
plenty of time to pass the finish line.
Since we're talking about good things, the staff met along with some volunteers last week sometime about city beautification. And there was quite a few people here. It was probably about 15 people. And I appreciate the staff for being here because we're looking at how to beautify the city of Guadalupe because there's some key points. And I think if one of the areas is that the marquee coming in that the city of Guadalupe signed across the street from the cemetery, it looks like it should be in a cemetery, but cemetery is nicer looking at. We're gonna clean that up. All the entranceways except for the one coming in from Highway 1 south, because that and eventually that's going to be Caltrans stuff. There's one coming in from Santa Maria on Highway 166 into Guadalupe, and that needs to be cleaned up. We also talked about doing something with, and I know some of you out there may know that, but the fence that was put up probably 30 years ago along Treasure Park, along Highway 1, Mr. George Alvarez had gathered a group of individuals, students to paint that. So it looks pretty shabby. In a couple of years, there's another wall that's going to be put up, but meanwhile, it looks pretty bad. So we're working with city staff and volunteers to actually pressure wash that area and then paint it. We're looking for donations of paint. So we're looking at Santa Maria City landfill because they have a paint distribution thing there. And one of the staff members hit up another vendor to get some paint to actually paint that. And I know that Stephanie doesn't want to paint that whole thing and kids running on it, but it's a matter of looking at how we need to beautify our community because some areas look pretty shabby. So if anybody has any really hot to trot issues in terms of what needs to be cleaned up, get a hold of Todd, just email him or give him a call and say, this is what I would like to see done. So the group just met that one time, but we're looking at projects and other volunteers. There used to be, prior to COVID, used to be a monthly cleanup in the downtown area with the Family Services Agency and not Promotores, but the other one.
Community changers?
What's that?
The community changers?
Community changers. Yeah, so they once you get community together and say, here's the focus now, we want to clean the community up. So get a hold of Todd if anybody has any interest in it. And thank you for your report. Okay. Right.
Mayor, I do have a quick question for
Sure.
Todd. I do see on the upcoming council agenda items, state of the city. What can we expect and the community expect? And will there be this shared to our community members, maybe on the water bill to let them know about this event or?
Yeah, we certainly can do that. I'll talk to finance on that. What I anticipate with staff met is I'll probably just do a tee off, more of a 30,000 view opening for myself and just maybe a small PowerPoint on my own. And then each department will present sort of the happenings of what's going on in their departments and in projects for the city and different cool things happening, things we've accomplished, things that we're looking forward to in the future, things that follow the city council goals and sort of everything that's going on right now. Yeah.
Normally, a chamber actually houses that or actually gets it moving forward, but we haven't, I'll talk to Judy, maybe the chamber will help move that along, but we want to make sure that people know what we're doing. We just passed the budget and we didn't have many people in the audience if we had any, in regards to the budget and the goals of where we're going to spend our money and how. So this is the opportunity then for the departments to say, this is what we're doing, this is what they're doing now, and this is what's in the future. So that there's an understanding by the community of what the city's doing to
Some,
benefit the
some
city.
department heads have already submitted their slides already, so
Okay,
they're
good.
excited.
All right, good.
I have an additional question. Will this portion be after public comment?
I'm sorry.
Will this portion be after public comment or just I want to get an understanding of how
Sure, on
committee
the
members
agenda
can ask
exactly where we should
questions?
put it, but I know we're going to build it within the regular city council meeting.
Okay,
So it'll
just
take-
because
it'll
I,
probably
That should
take-
be-
it'll
to
take
me,
a-
that should be
Yeah.
a key topic in terms of the staff presentations, so.
Maybe we'll try to minimize the other items on the agenda and focus more on the state of the city.
because I know we'll have other agenda items, but I
Yeah.
know people will have questions. So I'm just
Right.
curious,
Yeah.
will they even have an opportunity or will there be maybe set aside a box for questions or?
We could do all
Right,
of that, yeah.
right.
I mean, I anticipate it'll be well over an hour.
Okay. Any other questions of Todd? Please.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this is the right time, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway, since he's got you. Any updates on the RFP for the construction of the Royal Theater?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill. Yeah. It's going out soon, like this week. So just let you know.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
All right, Director of Public Safety, Chief Cash.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, and our community here. First, I'll start off with, I got notified today that public safety had put in for a grant a couple of years back, and we had to compete against other agencies, first responder agencies within Santa Barbara County. We did not get the grant, but I got information today that they will be sending us emergency preparedness supplies. So with that, we'll be receiving 34 CERT backpacks, 2 boxes of high visibility vests, 5 additional hard hats, boxes of flashlights, clipboards, and 3 boxes of CERT field guides. This goes a long way. If you look at what happened in Texas, as far as the flooding and right now they're at 100, but no one knows how far that's going to go. We're still dealing with the hurricane issues. Templeton, we had major fires just north of us. We're still dealing with, we get heat wave notifications. So this is very important that we're trying to prepare ourselves. And with that, I would like, at least for consideration, Public Safety lost our emergency preparedness coordinator, but we do have personnel that are trained and at least look to maybe join the code compliance and emergency preparedness job descriptions together. That person has attended the Emergency Preparedness Academy back in Maryland. And so I don't have a lot of time to go to a lot of these different meetings throughout the county, but we're still receiving supplies. And I think our Public Works, we're moving one of our Conex boxes that has material in there to help us protect against additional flooding. So we're trying to stack as much supplies as we can to prepare our community, and having sometimes the personnel so that we can do the proper planning, I think is really going to be important. With that being said, Fiestas Patrias, we helped. We completed all the paperwork. I had a meeting last week and we turned it over to Jose. So they're submitting that to Caltrans. And it was a very important time at that discussion because of what's going on nationally. And they asked about, should we still kind of continue this? And we brought it up and we had discussion about, we should never shrink from adversity. And there's an expectation from our community. So we look at to continue unless there's other things that happen that would make us maybe not move forward. So I was very proud of the community stepping up and the organizations saying that we want to stand together and still celebrate heritage.
That's, what day is that? That's
I believe that's the 14th, Sunday.
okay, Sunday, September 16th, so that the parade, okay.
Yes, sir.
the Independence Day parade. All right.
And third, first if we can show the video and then I'll speak on that. So if we want to do the lights behind us there.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if you'll be able to see in the gallery unless you turn the lights or whatever, but
It's TV, so they should see it.
you got Todd right in the middle. Oh, no, isn't it?
What's my help?
This is just a clip of what the drone found on 4th of July.
That's during the day.
This is during the day and the drone was up. This shot was from at least 5 blocks away. And it could show you how
Sheesh.
Kid's like 5 foot away.
we'll talk about that aspect of it also.
Huh.
We're just kind of putting together and I got Captain Schmidt. He worked the drone that evening.
Didn't get shot down, huh?
We were very blessed to have him. I think we received the drone either that Saturday or Sunday. He came into work Monday,
Right in the middle of
Tuesday
the
worked on it,
streets.
and we had up in the air by Friday. Thing about this hit every neighborhood within the city of Guadalupe. We had a change of tactics this year. If anyone noticed, there wasn't as much, and we look at as far as numbers, not just what you may feel. Most people are upset, seem like the same thing. We didn't have as much firework activity as we had in past years. But the thing about it, because we flew the drone days before, most people held off until doing fireworks until the day of. So it was kind of quiet leading up to it. And so we almost got a false sense of hope that, hey, it's not going to happen. Well, it did. But the things that you see now on the form that we supplied, there were 17 houses that we're citing as far as for violation of the fireworks ordinance. Normally, you would look at that and go, okay, that's $1,000 each, $17,000. Well, we have in our master fee schedule full cost recovery for fire and police that respond to these type of situations. So currently, we're doing the numbers. We're looking at maybe a total between $32,000 to almost $50,000 in fines for these 17. And we're going to make some work for our hearing officer. So we're looking to charge between $2,000 and $2,500 per, so we can do the full cost recovery. But the other part, this is a 2-part thing, and I think the city attorney, he would definitely understand. When you saw the videos, someone made a comment, look at the kids that are standing right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're also looking at possible charges, felony charges of child endangerment. So we now have a hammer to some of these locations because of the criminal activity. And as we go through our investigation, we will make that determination. Is it just going to be a fine, or do we have a felony that we could proceed? So when people think that this is very simple, no one gets hurt, that's not true. We also have one citation where the gentleman later admitted where he fired it off and it went into the neighbors and burnt some of the neighbors' trash and in their yard. So it's very real that fireworks can go opposite directions and cause a fire. And we've seen the fires, like I said before, up in Templeton. This is it's nowadays, and I think Captain Schmidt can even attest to it. There's no more fire season. It's year round and it's dry. So we're going to really be pushing that. With that being said, is concerning the city beautification program. We see most of our programs, they kind of start. One of our biggest problems is the maintenance afterwards. We do a great job of putting stuff together, but we don't have a budget. We were looking for guidance, maybe, and either I submit paperwork to city council. So when we look at these kind of situations, like we have the fireworks, as far as the fines and so forth, maybe be able to set aside those type funds to be able to put into a line item for beautification. This way we can honestly plan for the future of projects that need to be done instead of sometimes always looking for volunteers or looking for donations. We can put together a real plan, future plan of beautification through the city and look for funding sources to be able to address some of these. So that's just a thought that we'd like to also maybe entertain, that council may think about, is be able, if we're going to do this beautification, be able to support some of the things that the committee is looking to implement and be able to really have a future plan of items that we'd like to address. With that, that is my report.
One of the, speaking of city beautification, my wife and I ate at the Chinese restaurant, and next door was that church, and there's a half barrel. Stephanie knows about this. There's a half barrel that has, it's small, but it's got flowers in it. And we asked that the owner there if we could put a a half barrel and plant it and then her maintain it. She said she'd love that. And you see all this, we have those bulb outs that have some plants and stuff like that, but it needs more of a a facelift, that whole area. So
Definitely.
but we're working on that. So thanks, Chief, for that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Just to clarify on the citations for the fireworks, I know that it's a $1,000 fine and you're saying going maybe 2,000. Just to clarify, what are some of the recoverable costs you're talking about?
For that evening, we had 2 fire captains, a fire engineer, and 2 police officers. And some of the videos you could see first responders going to those locations. So per our master fee schedule, we can do cost recovery if they're responding to criminal type activity. And so, but it's minimum of 2 hours per person. So I have to go back and look at each one. And then thanks to finance, they sent me the list as far as what each personnel is making. And so we'll start doing the calculations.
There's can you come up, please?
I am wondering, on these citations, are they all legal fireworks, or are they, what the incidents, are they mostly because of the distance of the firework and where they were set off? Or I'm wondering, do people know all these things? Do they know about firework? Okay, I just am asking because I was selling fireworks for FSA in their fireworks booth until around 8:30. And there was a lot of happy people coming and going. And so I wonder, are we criminalizing something that, I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a gentleman standing right there that mind.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, all the fireworks that are in the list of citations are illegal fireworks. So they don't meet the criteria from the state of California for safe and sane.
But it's basically, it's anything leaving the ground.
Anything that leaves the ground above 6 feet is considered an illegal firework in the state of California, especially if it propels out of a tube without control.
Yeah. Well, there was a young lady that was killed, 7-year-old that was killed in the San Francisco area by one of the rockets falling down and hitting her. So you could tell if one of those fell over and into a garage, which I was attending one of my sister-in-law's fireworks in Santa Maria many years ago. And one of the fireworks fell and went into the garage where everybody was standing. And everybody spread real quick. So it's pretty dangerous. And there's some people that like fireworks, and a lot of people don't, especially with the noise and the veterans that just can't take the booms and stuff like that. So thank you for your question. Thank you. Good question. Patrick?
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
I have a quick question for Chief.
okay.
Chief, you shared about possibly looking at expanding a role in regards to emergency preparedness. Because I'm a field representative for the state, I visited a lot of fire departments. And I'm curious, have you ever thought about can fire play a role in our city emergency preparedness efforts? They're doing surveillance, they do emergencies, they do response. And so I was just wondering if that's something that we can possibly look at in the future.
All of public safety plays a role in the emergency preparedness. Fire, we have to remember is our staff is limited. We have 2 firefighters that are on duty. And so their role would be fighting and preparing for fires and medical emergencies. So to take them and put a role as far as the emergency preparedness, they're part of the team, but they have a specific role that no one else can fill. There's no one else in the city that has that medical background, no one else in the city that has the firefighting capabilities. And so we want to make sure that we keep them in that role. The same thing with police.
I know that I asked Janice at the mid-year review if we can look at what the feasibility would be for a fire captain. And so I'm just like thinking, can we have any of that combined to save us money, to help respond, and maybe putting that what you said just in that.
Well, if you look at that in that same vein, we have a code compliance officer that's already here that is trained. He just went to a FEMA week-long emergency preparedness training for establishing command center. He went to the FEMA training center back in Maryland. So he has all the certifications to be able to do that. So we already have an employee that's there that has that training. So we could still keep the code compliance aspect and add that additional duties. And everyone kind of knows pretty much every employee has additional duties here already as it is because of staffing.
Got it. Thank you. I just had some conversations and from other captains, they've shared that it would just streamline. And so those were just questions. So thank you.
Is that it, Chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of the chief for the questions? None? Public Works.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, audience. It's pretty much a pretty basic month. Since school let out, we've been able to start painting curbs and working that right now. We had a big pump replacement over in the Pasadena complex subdivision. Let's see. We got the switch gear in front of the police department is complete. We're working right now with the post office to try to get them to move their mailboxes. If not, then we might have to have some other kind of meeting to see about that so that we can fence all that stuff off, because that's got to be secured from the public. And then I think that's about as far as like major things that aren't normal. We did have a water shutdown earlier in the month. One of the state water distribution pipes had a leak. So we were running off of city water only for a couple of days, but that's all squared away. And then Yeah, that's about it for Public Works.
Okay. Any questions?
I wanted a question for you. I went to the park this weekend with my daughter, and some of the facilities weren't working correctly, but I couldn't find a number. Is there a way that we can put a number visible in case somebody has an emergency at the park? They can, I don't know, call hotline, just because both of the restrooms were inaccessible and people were just flooding, putting more toilet paper. And I was thinking in my head, cost, what is this going to cost us?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You have staff on duty. I don't know if that was fourth or was that the,
Yeah, because we have staff on duty over
Yeah.
the weekend.
okay.
Okay.
We'll give you the key, then you can clean it. No, you don't want to do that? Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Dave. All right, item 11, Human Resources Manager. Sylvia.
Thank you, Mayor, council members and citizens. Some of this is kind of old news that you are already aware that we have hired the associate planner, Bill Scott, who's already joined the team. He's been very busy. He's got lots of ideas. And I think he's going to be very, very helpful. Very busy helping Alice as well. In our public safety department, as you know, we have hired the police officer, and our recruit started the academy this week. So we're looking forward to having them both join full-time to assist the team. We recently posted the building attendant position because of a voluntary resignation. This will be super helpful for on-site support for our recreation department and much needed. So hopefully we can get somebody in quickly. It's a little bit of a tough position because there's not really guaranteed hours. It's just kind of sporadic. So it's a little tough to fill that one. We will be posting the position of wastewater operator 2. We're just working on some final review of the job description, so we should have that posted very quickly. As you know, we are working hard to wrap up the negotiations with SEIU, so hopefully that'll be coming very quickly. Workers' comp, we do have one employee that is currently on modified duty. He has continued in that capacity, and we've been able to accommodate him. So that's good. And we're continuing our employee appreciation activities. We'll be working on the next quarterly recognition here soon. And I promise that personnel manual's coming soon. It's done. I just have not had a chance to go through it at all to make sure it looks good. But that's it. Any questions?
I do. This side, on what is a attendant, part-time attendant?
The building attendant,
Pay? How much pay? What's the pay?
what's the pay? 18.
18.
You know somebody? Send them my way.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sylvia.
Mhm.
Okay, next item is the public hearing, Pasadena Landscaping and Lighting District, FY 2025-26. Jeff. Before we have the next item, Phil, the next item is the Pointsell area.
Oh, yes, sorry. So how many do we have that are that live in that district?
Just two
Two?
in the Pointsell. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then the procedure would be for you to step out of the room while this item is being,
And here, we have to recuse ourselves for, okay.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the audience. You can stay here.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah, the procedure is when you have you're a resident in a district where you're voting on a tax, it's a conflict of interest under the Fair Political Practices
Okay.
Act. In the district, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, Jeff. Now we'll go to the first item there.
so I'm sorry, which one is this?
This is
light?
this is Pasadena.
Pasadena, okay, thank
Pasadena.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. It's a pleasure to be here today. This first item that we're going to be looking at is the Pasadena Landscape and Lighting District. As you know, we have to come to you each year with the benefit districts, the different districts that we have that have a special tax associated with them. And Pasadena has a special tax for their landscaping and lighting. This was established when before the homes were constructed. And so the proposal is to actually leave the fees exactly the same that they've been for the last several years. We've built up an additional fund that we'll be using to do some additional work out, landscaping work out in Pasadena. But in order to do this, we need to hold a public hearing for this item. And so my recommendation is that you hold a public hearing for this item, and then we will, if after any comments from the public, then we can have some additional comments.
Okay, then at 6:45, this is open to the public. And I know there's a couple ladies there that are anxious to come. Do you want to speak on that, on Pasadena lighting? Yeah, please. Pardon? Yeah. Just pull it down. There you go. Okay.
So my name is Diana Harada. I live in Pasadena. And we've been, as a community, the area, talking in that area about the landscaping. Because we know the gardeners are there. They come and they cut the grass. But as far as the parks area, there's a lot of shrubs that are dead. There's a lot of trash that stays in there, even though they've been there. When they cut the grass, they drive around in this little motorized lawnmower, and they go from one park to the next park. But as they're driving from one park to the next park, they're leaving a trail of grass all along the streets that they're driving to, which leaves a mess in the area. So if we're paying taxes for them to come and clean up and take care of the landscaping, then it should be done correctly. And is anybody monitoring when they're there? Because they were just there today. Today was actually, they did a decent job on some of the parks, but there's branches that are just left dead, broken because of the winds or whatever. Kids may be climbing on the tree, I don't know. But there's just a lot of stuff that's just not being kept correctly. So that was some of our concerns.
Okay. How about in terms of the fees, they're connected, the fees are connected to what we're doing out there, so.
Yeah,
He's writing down your information there, so.
okay.
Okay. Is there another individual that wants to speak on it?
I don't know.
No? Anybody else wishes to speak on this item? Then we'll close this. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
My name is David Gutierrez. I also live on the Pasadena side. Pretty much the same things she was mentioning, the brush, a lot of the grass is left over. Something that would be interested in keeping up. I don't want to repeat myself because pretty much everything was touched on, but this is my first time here. I just wanted to experience and hear what you guys have to say, and I appreciate for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak on this item? If not, close the public hearing at 6:48. Is that right? 6:48. It's closed. The public hearing is closed. So go ahead, Jeff. You need action or the?
So
Is it-
let me just address some of the things that were brought up. I've actually received some phone calls regarding the maintenance of Pasadena. We do have, as you know, David's pretty new as our Public Works Director, and we have built up a fund, and I just informed him this evening that we have plenty of money, and if we need to contract out the landscaping work, and he's happy to do that, so we can maintain it at the level that it should be maintained.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the comments from the young lady that's out there, so, Diana. Okay, you're looking for the motion. Is there a recommendation? What's the number here?
2025-39.
Is that a motion?
Oh, I'll make it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025, confirming the engineer's report assessment diagram and assessments related thereto for fiscal year 2025-26.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? We'll have roll call, please.
Councilmember Costa Junior,
Aye.
Councilmember Fernandez,
Aye.
Councilmember Villegas,
Aye.
Councilmember Hernandez. Aye. And Mayor Julian.
Aye. All right, that motion passes. So the next item is the benefit assessment District 1, which is Point Sal Dunes, and there's two individuals that live there, myself and Christina Hernandez, council member. So we'll recuse ourselves. So who wants, you're the next man. Okay, we'll be back. Give us a call. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, item 13. Guadalupe Benefit Assessment District 1, public hearing.
Thank you very much. Yes, the benefited district number 1 is also a landscape and lighting district, and this is for both Riverview and Point Sal Dunes. Riverview has 50 parcels. Point Sal Dunes has 254 parcels. The parcels assessment is listed in the staff report. The funds here pay for the lights and also maintenance of the landscaping that is within those subdivisions. So the recommendation is to hold a public hearing on this item, to open a public hearing and accept any comments from the public, and then return for a vote on that after.
Okay, so we will open up the public hearing at 6:52. And is there anybody in the audience that has any questions according to this district? Okay, with no questions or anything, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:53. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that I'm following everything, just, so it's increasing the cost, for all parcels, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what's the quick and dirty about why it's increasing? It's just everything's going up?
Yes. So in the last several years, we have used what is called, PG&E has a rate sheet for streetlights. But the one thing, and we've been charging based on that, but I've been reviewing the bills and that those rates did not include the special taxes and all the other things. So basically this increase is just to make sure that it covers the entirety of the PG&E bill. Yeah, so that's where the increase came from.
Okay, so is there any motion to pass the resolution?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution number 2025-40, setting the proposed assessments for fiscal year 2025-26.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Can I get roll call, please?
Councilmember Fernandez,
Aye.
Councilmember Villegas,
Aye.
and Councilmember Costa Junior.
Aye. Okay, resolution passes.
Thank you very much. And we will be bringing the Guadalupe land or lighting district to you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Are we good to move to the next item? Okay. The next item, regular business. Cosecha, how do you pronounce that? Cosecha. Guadalupe Market, Farmers Market. Arnulfo, you're the man.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
This is my first report, so go easy on me.
All right, it's been recorded, so don't worry about it.
I'm here to make a recommendation for our farmers market that is like to come into our community at Leroy Park. It's been a long time coming that they've been trying to get this off the ground and into our community. And we're here to make the recommendation to either, I've set out 3 possible options that we could go with. So I'll start off with the full park rental. The normal rate is $650 a day for Leroy Park. And I also included a breakdown of a possible monthly and yearly accumulation of the fee. A full park rental for a nonprofit rate is $520 a day. And full park rental with a possible discounted rate, it would be a possibility of $220 per day. We had also discussed a 12-month long fee waiver. This would be really beneficial to the farmers market, as there's a lot of separate fees that incur for them just to get established and going. So it's really up to the council whether they'd like to waive any fees, do a discount rate, or adopt the 12-month long fee waiver program.
All right, we
I have
have,
questions.
yes, please, yeah. We have the report right in front of us, so.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, so it's $650 a day to rent the park as of now.
Correct.
And it's 1 day a week that they're planning to rent the park,
Correct. Yes,
four times a month.
every Sunday is they're gonna plan to use the park from technically from 9 to 3, 10 to 2 being available to the public for use of the farmers market, but an hour before and after for setup and breakdown.
And then a follow-up question, as the recreations manager, as your position, do you foresee any issues if the city wanted to use the park? We've done events there. So if we were, I mean,
right,
would we just work around that now? I mean, what's your plan with that,
So we had talked about having the layout of the actual farmer market be on the west side of the park, where the roundabout is. Where there's actually already a gate. So starting from that gate all the way through the roundabout will be solely designated for the vendors. The rest of the park, the barbecue pits will still be accessible and available to rent during the Sundays.
Okay, so it's not really impacting the ability to use the park otherwise.
No,
not necessarily.
Right.
And then has all the other, I don't know if you have the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Okay.
Have all the other hurdles that needed to be jumped over for the farmer's market been jumped over? I mean, are we there?
I believe they've submitted all their correct. Yes, yes.
They have
Yes.
a request to speak, so good question. You can, okay, why don't you come up, Stephanie? There's Judy also wants to speak, but she was before you, unless you acquiesce to. Okay, all right.
Well, I don't, I can go after Judy.
Well, you're going first.
Oh, okay. I feel like we've come to all the hurdles. We've met with all the parties involved, and I'm really hoping, we're at that point where we cannot move forward. We have to have a designated location in order to apply. And likewise, because we're just starting, and even if we were fully functional, that daily rate is just crazy. That's just too high. That's like paying a part-time person for a whole, $24,000 a year. As a comparison, the Lompoc Community Service District lets the Route 1 Farmers Market use their parking lot for $25 a day. And they've had that same excuse me, they've had that same agreement since 2019. We're not asking to use the whole park. We're just asking to have our market at the west side, like Nufo was saying. And so we're really just adding to what could be happening in the community. So I'm really hoping you guys will want to, at least for this first year, waive the fees, because we don't exactly know all the fees we're going to incur, but we can't figure that out until we get the designated market site, because that's how we apply. And then maybe down the road, maybe the next year, we review, but then I'm hoping you're going to go with something like $25 a day, because this is a community effort. This is, all of us have full-time jobs. We're here to bring something that is needed for the community that will only add to what is going on within the city and only help out all the other organizations and the businesses downtown. I mean, there's nothing stopping them from having a booth or a food truck. You know, it's, the sky's the limit pretty much on what could be happening, but this is a way to get more tourism, to get more people out from their homes in Guadalupe, and just to have more things going on. So that's my 2 cents.
Don't move.
Okay.
Questions from my left? Okay.
I'm carrying glasses out. I would assume this is your business plan in here, where you talk about the description and the fees and other types of things. You're talking about, let's see what I put. It says the fee scale for the vendors and all of that is subject to change after the first 6 months of operation. And then you'd assess the operation and the rules and the fees and all things like that. And so I would suggest that rather than looking at waiving for a year, to look at waiving the fee for 6 months and then have fees assessed at that time in line with your other assessment of the whole operation. And I'm still not sure how you came up with the fees, but never mind.
Oh, the way we came up with the fees, we used Route 1, exactly what they've been doing since 2019. So we are going off a successful market that is in operation every Sunday from 10 to 2 in Lompoc, in Vandenberg Village. So we're using actual real information, and we're trying to come up with a similar market. The thing that's great about that market, it accepts EBT benefits and market match. And so people that are going there who have market match can actually get double the produce that they would be able to get otherwise. So our goal is to be able to serve our community, no matter how much money people are making.
No, Stephanie, I meant the fees for the park, not the fees for your vendors, but that's okay. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Were you asking about the
No.
fees, the $25 a day?
No, how you calculated,
Much they pay.
how much you're saying, what you're requesting the city council to waive for use of the park.
The entire amount for a year.
Well,
again?
what?
Waive the entire amount for a year to get them on their feet.
So,
Never mind.
Okay.
oh, okay.
I think she's suggesting on a half a year and looking.
Oh, yeah, I'm suggesting whatever the fees came up to be and that we look at waiving those, not for the full year, but for the first 6 months, again, to be assessed in line with how you would assess the whole operation at that 6-month point. Yeah.
Okay.
Whitney?
Yes, I have questions. And you might have answered this somewhere, but I'm just gonna throw it out here just to confirm. Is the intention to, and I know this came up at one point, so I feel like I've heard a lot of information, but trash and things like that, was there gonna be a dumpster? Is the city gonna be on the hook for the trash, you know?
Each produce vendor is required to get their own trash and take it out.
Okay.
So that's one thing. As far as other trash, I'm not sure there would be, other than people using the bathroom facility if they need
Okay.
to.
And I mean, I'm just thinking with a lot of people, so that's just gonna be something the city has to think about as far as bringing more people in, how much more trash is going to be at the park.
They're, like she said, they're gonna haul it out. I'm sure there'll be some trash, but I mean, it's our city partnership and contribution would be for some water use and toilet
Mhm.
use, some paper towels and toilet paper. We're thinking that that's a great contribution. And we feel this would be a great economic spinoff for the community. And the 650 is pretty hefty
Yeah.
a day. And I personally think that if, but not for this, we wouldn't have this and it wouldn't create the vibrancy that our community is desiring. So as a staff person, I'm in support of 6 months or a year for sure. And if it goes into that, I think the 650 is kind of rich, in my opinion.
Todd, I think her question would
Oh.
be if there is any staff fiscal impacts
No.
throughout that day, just because, you know, if there needs to be someone to go clean up the trash, what that looks like, maintenance.
Well, we have some, well, on Sunday, we don't have.
Does anybody need to open the gate, everything? They'll be doing everything themselves. No staff is needed.
Excuse me. We do have morning staff on the weekend. So they would be picking up the night before, I guess, in the morning, you know. So it would be clean on Sunday and then they would clean up on Monday. But as far as any other impact, I don't really foresee any kind of big impact.
I definitely feel, I mean, I would want to waive the fees. I think it's great for the community and whatnot. I think 6 months would be, I mean, 6, 12, maybe 6 months would give us an idea of how the farmer's market is doing. You know, maybe you could come back in 6 months and give us a report on that. And then maybe we waive them again for another 6 months. But I'd like to see some numbers on how it's been doing and whatnot after maybe 6 months. But I definitely think waiving fees would be beneficial for everyone involved, including all the citizens of Guadalupe.
Christina, question?
Thank you to the Cosecha team for their wonderful work. We all know that we need a farmer's market. So thank you for the diligent work that you guys have been doing. I know that we've had a lot of questions and you guys have been able to respond and go out and research those questions. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Gene?
I agree with Amelia on the 6 months to waive that to see where it goes. But then I was also looking at the discounted rate of $220 a day and kind of doing that and doing about possibly later on, maybe $50 a day towards using the parking lot after. And only because, you know, there is going to be some little bit of cost to the city. Not going to recuperate it all, but at least some for, you know, toiletries and stuff like that that are being used. But I agree with Amelia, the first 6 months kind of waiving it to see how you guys go and how it does for you guys and go from there.
Christina, anything? I have about 8 questions. Some of them have been answered already. What's the reason? There has to be a reason why EBT and the market match is not available for 6 to 12 months.
I can't give you that reason, but that's what I've been told. That's how long it took Route 1 to actually get that.
So it's not a waiting period. It's something that takes that long to get. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit
yeah.
of both. I think it's a little bit of a waiting period and then the bureaucracy.
Who do you submit that to? That request to be EBT and market?
That I know it's going to go to California, but I don't know exactly what agency we start with yet. It's just to be able to apply is like you have to.
So it's
you
gonna
have to
take a while.
start with that, and then you have to get to the next level.
So nobody will be able to have EBT or market match until you're certified to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. We have an MOU with them that's coming up, or that's going to be.
Yeah, it'll have to be put on the agenda for a near future agenda.
Because what we're talking about now
Yeah,
is going to.
just to get the concepts and agreed and consensus. And then we'll put it in.
I was just looking at setup. I just said
Yeah.
the setup's going to be at the parking lot down in the bottom. So the other, we didn't mention this, the major holiday language needs to be put in that in the MOU to make sure that like the 16th of September, the other events that are going to happen, and there isn't a requirement, that will still be available, the barbecue areas for family events and stuff. And so will the remainder of that Leroy Park in terms of the grass area. So that's not a problem. But we make sure that we've got that language in there that says that say, for instance, and that was my next question, is have you talked with the Boys and Girls Club in terms of what schedules they have?
Well, no, haven't. I'm not sure why I would do that unless it's like you said, a special event happening on Sunday.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Just let them know that you're doing that, and through Mr. Navarro, there's that connection to say if they have a major fundraiser or something like that, and it's a Sunday, that there's that communication. So if there's going to be communication between the Recreation Department and the organization, that's needed, and then be good. There's construction. Hopefully it'll start, which then shouldn't get in the way. That's the construction of that 2,200 square foot addition. And that's where that communication with Public Works and the city needs to happen to make sure that there's, and I'm sure any construction that goes on is going to be fenced in some manner or the other. What happens, and I know that the staff used to, that it's going to create use of paper towels and the cleanup that's going to be needed. And our staff, I think they go, David, do you know if they go there twice a week, or do you know their schedule?
Just like during their weekly,
right?
It'll be trash cans daily, and then paper towels and all that kind of stuff is like twice a week.
Okay.
And then the weekend mornings.
Okay, but then that definitely would have to be Monday morning for the.
Right, they do
Okay.
Bathrooms Monday mornings.
As long as there's
All Perks.
that communication, because we don't want to have the same situation we had at O'Connell. Looking at, and I know there's a letter that was drafted on 6/12 that talked about a monthly, item 7, that in your letter, item 7 said that you're gonna have a monthly recap of what you do and send it to the city, but I think that's too often. Especially when you get started, maybe even a quarterly basis, that you have a report to us, regardless of what we decide in terms of any waiver, but to have a quarterly report to the Recreation Department, and then to us, so that we can see what's going on.
Okay.
The other item, when do you propose a start date?
What was the question?
Start date. What start date?
Well, once I have once we know that the location is secure, then I can apply.
Then Friday, right?
Well, I mean, then
If
it's
it
the
goes through.
process of starting, we fill out the application. We have like a temporary market manager, and then we see what the application brings to us, because then we have to go through a review process of our own plan, our market plan, and they have to look at that, and that incurs fees as well. So it's a process.
Okay.
I think as soon as we know this, then we can move to step 2 and then see what the next step is.
Do you have proposed applicants at this point?
Well, we have a temporary kind of person that was thinking about doing the market managing.
I'm talking about the actual farmers.
Oh, that's not real hard to get. There's a lot of farmers that are looking for Sundays. In fact, I went to a farmer's market in Paso Robles. It was a Saturday market, and I told one of the men who happened to be the market manager there, that we were hoping to have a farmer's market on Sunday. And he said, "Oh, well, let me know when you're ready, because I have people all the time asking to be vendors at a Sunday market, and I don't know where to send them." So I don't feel like it's a problem. There's vendors everywhere, and we're also looking at a managing software for markets, and that software itself also, I believe it also has a network of potential farmers.
John?
Does the city fees play into the them approving you or not based on your financials?
I don't think early on it doesn't. what we have to have, like I said, is the designated location and the times. That's like tops. So the city fees don't impact us right away, but like I said, we can't get to the next step, which is our fundraising effort for all the other permits that we think we're gonna have until we get this point passed. I
Any
just have a
further comments
question.
from Judy? Sorry.
Okay, so, well, thank you, first of all, for, consideration of, lessening the fees or, or, for the 6 months. I know that the committee, we've talked about this and that, sitting and listening to the comments from everyone else, I think, my personally, I think that would be excellent if we could get some type of leadway in terms of getting being able to have some of the fees waived for us. Because as of Stephanie said, we we're just we are ready to go. We are ready to get this moving, and so we just need to be able to have these things finalized for us so that we can step into that next realm of getting this brought to the city and benefiting the city as a whole. And just speaking as the GBA president, I can absolutely see this as being something that in long term would benefit the city. Once we have just to coincide with the Royal Theater and other things that may be coming in town, and of course, once the new development is the new houses are built in Pasadena, that in itself, I think, is going to make it's going to bring a lot of business just downtown. And so then I think that the market can then not only benefit Guadalupe as a community, but also we can then branch out. Because as Stephanie said, we're going to, there is a market manager, like I guess I want to call it a coalition kind of thing. And so the committee, each of the committee members just has something that they have just brought to the committee, and their what they have to offer has just been so fantastic. And so with that, I can, like, again, I can totally see that this long term would have a great benefit to the city. We can then branch out to other areas. We can then, once we're on the schedule, outside of, there's farmers markets that are happening in other towns like Orchid, Santa Maria, the 5 cities. We can tap into those also. And with having those, like Stephanie said, knowing these vendors, Stephanie has gotten to know the vendors very well in the Lompoc farmers market. And so word of mouth, I think that once people start finding out that we are going to have a market here and it's actually in process, then I don't think we're going to have an issue at all with being able to get farmers or vendors and being able to make this really something that can be well known within the area.
Okay.
So we, I definitely,
Now,
I just
okay,
want to
now-
thank you for
okay.
the opportunity to come and talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a quick question. I do read that you guys have like bylaws and rules. Are you guys allowing elected officials, and will there be a price on them?
Elected officials?
Like a booth?
Oh, yes, we have.
$300 for
Yes.
Great Heart.
Yes. Stephanie.
Just a thought, that way if you guys, just preparing and if there isn't interested individuals, you have that there already.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have a nonprofit booth rate. So I think we've already thought that out and it's in our,
So
it's in
like-
our like, application for
Oh,
vendors.
so elected officials will go under nonprofit? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
No question.
Okay,
But okay, can I have?
thank you
have
for
a
the
question?
comments. Go ahead, yeah.
As far as the assessment, how do you assess whether or not it's progressing? Like what would you provide to council?
Well, you
on
know,
how
we're
it-
just starting. So our assessment, I feel it would be, you know, we would be showing you, here's the vendors we've had. Here's how much money's been brought in.
Oh, for the vendor fees? That's how you
Yes, for the
money. Okay,
fees.
I was wondering how you-
And you know, here's the visitors, you know, that kind of thing. What ends up being purchased and what fees we can pay. Yeah.
Anything to kind of expand on your question. What we're talking about with the market manager, these things that we've been looking into in terms of they will give us the ability and they will be able to say, oh, you know, we feel like they will give us resources, which will be very beneficial to coming back to the city to be able to go, okay, you know, we have this in place and be able to help us to have those correct numbers and all these other things that maybe we wouldn't even think about, but bringing back and being able to present again and saying, okay, here's our findings. This is from our start and here we are at a 6-month point, that kind of thing. So we are definitely thinking about things long-term. This is not just something that that we want to just start and then have it, you know, a few years down the line to stop. This is something that has been very well thought out and looking at the vision as a whole is to definitely benefit the community of Guadalupe, first and foremost, our citizens, and then we reach out to the rest of the areas around us.
I had a follow-up question. This MOU that we're developing needs to include our finance department input in terms of the question you asked. How do we know what do you need in terms of how they're doing? The second thing is having Public Works and that connection with the group in terms of working with them and the Recreation Department, of course. The other item, what do you have in preparation for public safety?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you right now. We're not that
What if
point.
there was emergency?
We have to have signage.
Okay.
Clearly marked signage that, you know, keeps cars from coming in.
Right. So
And
who has that signage? Is it?
well, we have to make that.
Okay.
That I believe that would be part of our marketing efforts that would be covered under some of the grant monies that we're getting. But we have to have clearly designated signage on which parts of the market are which. The produce areas need to be separated from the cottage vendors and food trucks, that sort of thing. So as you know, we're gonna have to have people monitoring the cashier area. But as far as if we're gonna have like a security guard, we haven't gotten to that point in our thinking yet.
Yeah, I would recommend that you talk with chief and so let them look at your design and your flow and everything else in terms of if there's somebody that goes down and needs CPR or something like that, what do you have?
Okay.
And then knowing our department, knowing that you're down there in case there is a call that you need to get down there real quick, but you know, talking with and I think that MOU should have that. There's maybe one paragraph that said, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna meet with the public safety in terms of traffic safety and also, you know, somebody going down, health safety. So. Okay, any other questions?
No.
Anybody have a motion?
Just
Go
to
ahead.
clarify, what are the main points for the MOU? The 6 month?
Oh, that's,
or-
well, that's
Okay.
what I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay, we have, Gene, you're looking at 6 months. Amelia, 6 months,
I'm good with 6 months,
6 months.
waiving the fee. I just, as you were saying, like an integrated by department quarterly report, you know, stuff that's how it's affecting the public works, how it's affecting safety, et cetera, et cetera.
How about the fees? Waive them,
Waive them for 6 months.
Gene?
And then reassess.
Okay, cool. Is there a motion? Do you need a, how does that, how do we do?
Just a motion to waive the fees and
Work in the
we got the
details.
direction to do the MOU. So
Okay.
just a motion to waive the fees.
I'll make a motion to waive the fees for 6 months.
I'll second.
Is there just any discussion? None? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Thank you, ladies. Okay, where are we now? Future agenda items. Anybody want add anything? Well, one is already requesting agenda items for next month or next week or 2 weeks from now.
I have a quick question. Janice, you show that the master fee schedule is going to be next, or no, it says July. Is it going to be on the next meeting? The updated?
No, the GAN will be on the next meeting, and then I think the master fee schedule will be in the next one after that.
And the
First,
cost
first meeting in August?
Cost
Yeah.
allocation
Cost allocation.
will be, when do you think?
So if I can get it done at the same time, with the master fee schedule, it'll either be with the master fee schedule or it'll be after the meeting after.
Sometime in August.
Yeah.
Any discussion of future other items? Agenda, item 16. Council activity reports. Jean, yeah. Christina?
I attended the immigration support team. We learned that we have already parents signing up to fill out the family preparedness, meaning that they are worried that they might be taken from their kids. And so just wanted to share that as a mother. I find that very difficult to hear. I also am looking at leading a hike out at the refuge, and me and my family went out there yesterday. And we just traveled through these unmaintained trails, and it was really cool to see. We saw some snakes along the way and just a lot of native plants that we hadn't seen before. So really,
Which refuge?
the Guadalupe Nipomo Dunes Refuge, and it's off of Beagle Way. It's usually closed off to the public, and so I'm hoping that I can create a hike out there to get the community just to know what's going on out there, the beautiful endemic plants, species out there. But that's my end of my report.
You know about that, the trails meeting that they're having here, the third, that.
I just found out about that, so I have to do my
all right,
research.
cool. That's 3 o'clock? Do you
Monday at
recall?
3
Monday?
to 5.
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Amelia, anything?
I just wanted to mention that for the first time, I participated in the food bank distribution, and I was blown away by the assembly line process. Absolutely blown away. And I was on the assembly piece, and I was slowing up the assembly. They took two products.
Rookie.
They took two products away from me. I had to do the tuna only, but I didn't do the hominy. No, I really was surprised. I mean, the mayor reports stats, every month, and you go, okay, that's a lot of people. Oh yeah, right. But I do know that the line of cars start early because I typically walk and I see the cars. And then I see some of the people, standing in line, and they got their baskets in front. But as far as the background of how all this happens, yeah, blew me out of the water. Absolutely blew me out of the water.
Yeah, regarding the food bank, we saw 181 families. There's about 70 new individuals coming in. So the food bank anticipated and has seen a drop because people are afraid of immigration. So we saw a little bit of that on the foot traffic side, but we saw an increase in car side, so they can take off when they have to. We appreciate the school. What's the name of the school? There's several schools came in because it's summertime. There was probably at least 30 people helping. That's why it was important. I met this this coming week, I don't know if this coming Friday, we have the ribbon cutting at
10 o'clock.
Escalante Meadows, 10 o'clock. And I guess Carvajal is gonna be here sometime
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
Chambers.
this afternoon.
Feel free to show up.
I had a SB meeting last Thursday. They talked about the blue whale, what's it called? Anyway, the traffic for the shipping containers that go by there, it's all volunteered in terms of how fast they go through. And the slower they go through, you're not hitting whales and you're not creating a lot of pollution. So many of these agencies, it's called Blue Whales, Blue Skies. So they're really voluntarily, these shipping companies are slowing down so that they don't hit the whales, nor do they create a lot of pollution. So there's an award ceremony every year, and there's a lot of them that go there. It's also, and I think, David, I don't know, I sent that electric units, your landscaping units, there's a 6,000, let me see. There's 100,000 pilot program between Guadalupe and Santa Maria in terms of air pollution or we had this before, the air, what do you call it? The cleansing, the air. Thank you, purifiers. And also I think at Hancock, they have that, they have a demonstration for electric units. So that'd be great if we could take advantage of that. It goes to nonprofit. So you get a big discount, probably an $8,000 discount on electric, not cars, but electric landscaping equipment. And we have a meeting at Caltrans on the 17th to discuss what's going on with the school. So we've been meeting with Andale at the school district to look at, so they're opening up August 5th, August 12th. 11th to 12th. And I think I mentioned before, there's going to be 7th and 8th grade are coming this way. And that's going to be probably close to 250 kids. So that's happening there. And then pre-K and he's more officially know more about it than I do. So the learning center, that's another 200 individuals. You're going to have close to 400 to 500 people going to the new school, and the Pasadena folks are going to enjoy that, right? So we're working with Caltrans, and David was here, the chief was here, talking about how do we protect people crossing, because 99% of the people are crossing 166 going across. And so that's going to be, we're meeting here again. It's nice that Caltrans is going to meet with us so they can look at how do they help us protect our traffic and especially the kids. And then I know the chief is working on how the flow into that community. And if there's a problem with it, you can blame the chief in terms of the traffic going through there. So it's
and the developer will be there too.
Yeah, developer's going to be there too.
And
So
his engineer.
yeah, and the engineer for the Pasadena development. One of the issues with the pre-K is that you can't drop them off like you can kids. You have to walk them to the school. So we're going to have parking issues. So that's why everybody's putting their heads together to see how the best can deal with it. So that's all I had. Is there a motion to adjourn to closed session?
I'll motion to adjourn the closed session.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Thank you all.